It's another beautiful day to do this, and I'm ready to talk about Nigeria's development with you. This is Atlantic Television Network, and the program is Atlantic Blowout. This is a syndicated live program of the network that gets to feature chit-chats and conversations and special interest topics. We talk about news, events, and stories through correspondence reports, experts' opinion, and stakeholders' analysis. A quick peep into the stories we'll be discussing this morning. Our very first story is coming from the National Assembly. We have reports that reps threaten to blacklist contractors of custodial center. A story about the NAD, that's the resident doctors now, they begin nationwide strike. And then on NUPRC, Commission defends Orlando Seplet amid Atiku's criticism. We took that story yesterday, Atiku's criticism. Even though we did not get to focus on that aspect, we talked about the subsidy payments, which, allegations are there that we're still paying fuel subsidy. And then we'll take the story on education. WAEC exams are not for candidates below 18 years. How is this going to affect our educational system? How is this going to affect our children? Because this is a statement from the federal government. And then on state creation, Ned Woko to convene stakeholders meeting. On international passport, this story has been everywhere. We've been getting reactions from Nigerians concerning the increase in the price of international passport, and then NIS has come to explain to us why exactly they did this and how this will be beneficial to the system. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll let you know who our guests in the studio are and also delve straight into the stories. I'm Enidoye Jackson. Please stay with us. All right, seated in the studio with me are my amazing guests ready to analyze the stories and dissect the issues in Nigeria right here with you. This is Atlantic Television Network, and I have with me on my left, Dandy Loveday. He's one of our regulars on Atlantic Blowout. He's a public affairs analyst, amongst many other things. Good morning, Dandy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And I also have with me on my right, Frank Eneawaji Ugonunu. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hope I didn't murder the name.
No. I'm yesterday I was confused.
Okay.
Because we take West Prince. The car took me past my bus stop because of cars coming in.
Hope it didn't happen this morning again. The car didn't take you past your bus.
No.
Thank God.
I'm
you're here.
now.
Thank you so much for coming.
Cars are terrible.
They're very thorough. You know, a lot of us have experienced people hacking our accounts on different social media platforms, but I'm happy at least you're aware of it and you're under it's under control now. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's delve straight to the first story we have. We're going straight to the National Assembly. We have reports that the House of Representatives Committee on Reformatory Institutions have expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of work at the Custodial Center headquarters in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. The committee's chairman, Chinedu Oga, made this known during their oversight visit to the state. Oga, who represents Ikwo Eza South Federal Constituency, said that the committee members were in the state to oversee the different custodial centers in the state to make recommendations to the relevant authorities to enhance professionalism and the welfare of the inmates. The lawmaker noted that he had already communicated with the Controller General of the Correctional Centers or Correctional Services to direct the contractors handling the project to return to the site and ensure the completion of the project. He warned that the House may be forced to ask the federal government to blacklist the contractors if they fail to heed the directives of the committee and return to the site. The committee also paid a courtesy visit or a courtesy call on Governor Francis Nwifuru. Oga reveals that 98%, this part of the story really got me, that 98% of the inmates in these custodial centers are state offenders, and that is the reason for the congestion of these correctional centers. Now, he also said that we have written to the Chief Justice of the Federation, we have written to Chief Judges of different states of the Federation. When you go around the correction service centers across the country, about 98% of the inmates are state offenders, while the remaining 2% are only national offenders, and it is very necessary that we do what we can to make sure that we decongest the correctional center. Congestion in correction, in fact, that's another topic. Let's even start from the contractors that have been asked to go back to work and go back to the site, else they might be sanctioned and they might be reported to the federal government. Should that really happen when you're giving a contract? You actually are giving this contract and then you have to be begged to complete the project. Well, I don't know what my guests will think about this, but let's start with Dandy.
Okay. The reps stood up to carry out their function, which is the right thing to do. For them, it's an oversight function, and then they are representative of the masses. So, ordinarily, they should bring government closer, they should draw the government attention to the people, try to also speak out the plight of the masses. In this case, that's what they've done, and I applaud them for that. However, for the contractor handling the project, whatever might be the challenge or challenges faced by the contractor, of course, the contractor didn't say anything. It's just the rep members who are just saying. So, I may also know if they have challenges, but whatever the challenge may be, is the right thing to do for them to speak up. You see that they didn't pay you, or they paid you, you just ran away with the money, or you didn't, or they just gave you as one uncle gave to the
That's you're talking about the contracts now.
Yeah, they gave, I'm giving you this contract as political compensation and giving it to you so you make money. So just collect the money and run away. Even if we've seen that's very common these days, and it ought not to be so. But whatever it is, the contractors should also give their own side of the story on why they have been unable to carry on the contract. Whatever, the reps, I give it to them.
All right, let's hear you. Frank.
Well, it's very, very unfortunate because that is what is happening in this country. It's a routine way of doing things and the government projects. Now, we have changed the name from prison to correctional center. As if the change of name will change our attitude. But you don't see it done that way. We have been told that our prisons or correctional centers are overcrowded. That people who don't need to be in the prison in the first instance. Just for there are some cases that you don't need maybe long period to put it. But today, because of one thing or the other, some people are just dying there. No, they don't go to court. And again, the facilities meant for maybe 2,000 today is housing 10,000 inmates. This is not ideal in any society that wants to even change even the inmates. Let's say they are criminals. But the purpose of changing the name correctional center is to correct the habit so that they can be reformed to become good citizens of this country. But when somebody goes to a place where he needs to get information and now he's being hardened, he will come back to the society and become more dangerous. And that's what is happening. And again, look at it, even the contractors. Well, you can see that there is fraudulent activities going on even in terms of executing the contract. So for the House of Reps, and we want to improve our correctional center facilities, and yet we are not seeing any development going on. So for me, it's not about telling us we want to sanction. We need to know what has led to the congestion of our prison, like they have said that they have written to the chief judges of the states and also maybe the chief justice of the federation. They
stated that about 98% of the inmates are state offenders. That's a big question. That begs the question. Does it mean that our state centers are actually congested on their own, and that is why they have to take all these people down to?
No, see, it's not a prison. We have one correctional center. Whether in any state, based on your crime, you will send to that place. Like in Rivers, we have about 4 prisons or 4 correctional centers. We have in Port Harcourt, we have in Ahoda, we have in LLA, we have in Derema. Like the chief judge of Rivers said, I must say it, at least once in a while, I've been following it up. There is also a release of some inmates, up to 1 or something, to at least to decongest the education facility, the one that close to what call it, Marine Base. Is it? No. Close to Bundu, around Akwa Road axis in Port Harcourt. Once in a while, they do prison release of some inmates, those whose cases are not so to be for life imprisonment. At least once in a while, I've seen it done twice in a year or thrice in a year. But it's a good development. So if other states are not doing it, then it's not a good thing, because some of the people, for instance, like I said, my account was hacked and they use it for money. And for instance, somebody comes to me tomorrow, they say, Frank, oh, I gave you money and you did not give me back. You know, we need to engage in thorough investigation, because by using my account now, it's bearing my name, but I wasn't the one that defrauded the person. So I can even be taken to prison for what I did not do. So that's why I also pray that the judiciary, the executive, and well, this is the arm of the legislature, they need to work in synergy to make sure that our prison situation or correctional center becomes a place where somebody can go in, even as a criminal, and come back a good person. But trying to make the place horrible, because I was also told about the kind of food they give to them.
Yes,
another problem.
Since he talked about, since they mentioned the welfare of these inmates, let's even go there. How do you think we can change the system? We've heard too many stories, especially from those who have visited, on how the condition of these inmates or the condition of these correctional centers. So how do you think we can change the system?
First of all, you ask, who are those persons that are even always been taken to correctional centers? There are categories of persons, especially that we have. I don't even know whether we have high-profile persons in those correctional centers. And then the children of the rich, I don't also know if they are there. But I also think that it shouldn't be selective. If we have the children of the rich, it does not mean that children of the rich do not also commit crime. The VIPs, their children do not commit crime. If they do, and they are also in that correctional centers, you find out the zeal, especially public office holder, you find out the zeal to fix those places, to make it a place where human beings can stay.
Do you think that's the problem of the correctional?
Yeah, I think that's one of it. And if you feel nothing is my business in that area, in as much as everybody there have been termed as either criminals or lawbreakers and all that, so whatever it is, they should go there and die. You don't even also blame what's happening at the correctional center. It has become a national issue, a national problem. Which other area is working very well? The way we expect it. So it has also affected that correctional center. So I think it has to do with the political will for the government to see that every area in this country is very important to put in place. The welfare of the people also very important. If human beings should matter, those who are not even in correctional centers are also facing personal congestion.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that, yes. The president came in and said, don't suffocate the poor.
Not just the Kuje prison break. Now, the other time when we had the collapse of one of these prisons or one of these correctional centers in Nigeria, and then we heard that was when we heard that the center was actually supposed to house a particular number, but currently it's housing like it was, I think, ×2 of that or ×3 of that, and it was really, really absurd. And to think about the situation of those people there, it's high time we get to talk about all of these things. Popular, who has been kidnapped or been in kidnappers' den for 8 months. The president of NAD, Dr. Dele Abdullahi, announced the strike during a virtual emergency meeting of the National Executive Council that was held on Sunday. Abdullahi said that the strike, which commenced at midnight on Monday, August 26, 2024, that was yesterday, is a warning but total in effect. Now, the strike is total, and there will be no concessions or emergency care during this period. All centers, both federal and state, should ensure full compliance, even as proper handover of patients to consultants should be done. Any center found to have defaulted in the decision of NAD would be fined heavily and denied participation in the forthcoming NAD AGM. A registrar in the Department of Ophthalmology at the National Eye Center, Kaduna, Popula, was adopted on December 27, 2023, along with her husband and nephew. Now, her husband was released in March, while she and her nephew have remained in her release. But at the moment, she's still in kidnappers' den. They have told us and they have stated that they would not take in any emergency cases at this point, and only God knows. But yes, Frank, let's hear you on the story.
See, I am also we are playing with the serious crime against human life. The person was kidnapped since maybe 4 months. What is that? The life of that woman, the government, until we now go on a protest, until now go on strike, and some innocent citizen will now die.
Wait,
who will be seeking for medical attention?
You know, especially when we look at emergency cases now, do you see this as extreme?
If I see that as what?
Extreme.
You know, the first story you took, we're talking about how prison congestion, how we can decongest the prison. Now, and what people are passing through in that, called it correctional center, I'm calling it prison now. And whatever it is, whatever name it is. You know, if people like those who have kidnapped this lady are now being taken to that area, we also start agitating for the welfare of that area. We start agitating, if let's say they are taken to these correctional centers, and then maybe they are going through torture, they are going through hell in that area. Are we also going to be agitating that the welfare of those in the correctional areas, they shouldn't also please, let's do it very well? He mentioned what the torture that lady might be going in there or might be going through in that area. Now, if they get to that correctional area centers and now faces a little of that torture, these same persons who kidnapped this woman, you see us start shouting, oh, they are going through hell.
So are you saying that people in the correctional center should not, their welfare should not be considered?
No, what I'm saying is, if people, these kind of persons that took this lady are now being arrested and taken to correctional center, I don't know if they should also bring out their own aspects and then keep them in area where they should now face the torture. The same torture they are making somebody go through in whatever they describe as den. Now, if they are caught and taken to Korea is not good, and they don't even consider that somebody is in the bush. You're torturing the woman in the bush. Then when they bring you out to a building and you don't see food, you're crying. So what is not good for Mr. A shouldn't also be good for Mr. B.
You know, this is a point that you are talking about now. You're actually bringing this up. Should we not take care of people in the correctional center? Should their welfare not be considered? Are they not still citizens of this country?
I think what takes people to prison, unfortunately, some persons are not guilty.
Exactly. When we look at our system,
that's why I said there should also be need to separate some crimes. Some of these persons, you've kidnapped somebody, like what is happening now, and then somebody is being taken to this same area with somebody whom maybe probably is just being alleged
or stole his mother's pot of soup.
Good, and now he's kept in the same place, and that's why we are agitating for the welfare of that correctional center.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because what you are making that woman go through, just don't see food for 24 hours, they are crying. Please, it is very wrong for that lady to be there. And I also want to go in this angle. That lady has been kidnapped. That is not up to 1% of what is going on in this country. So many persons are being kidnapped and held in different places. The government seem to, I don't know if they are trying their best, but their best is not enough. Why are we going through this? Why are humans going through this? Those who are involved in this business, why are they making people go through this torture? You're looking for money. Are those persons you kidnapped, are they not also in this economy suffering something? Then another angle to it. How come the husband was released and the woman was not released?
The man was sick actually. He was taken from the hospital. So he was sick. According to reports, his medical condition was getting worse. So they had to release him.
There is, even if that we're discussing something that is so troublesome, so worrisome. Somebody, about three persons of the same family,
yes,
were kidnapped, and because of the horrible health nature of the husband, they released her. I mean, they released him. Now, our concern is that the government shouldn't even wait, like we are discussing. As we're discussing, apart from this high-profile kidnapping case we're discussing now, there are over 1,000 Nigerians in the enclave of kidnappers or bandits in the various forests or bushes across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Now, as we're discussing, but the slow pace of tackling it is a problem.
Is it the slow pace of tackling it?
Yes.
Or is it? Do you don't think our security agencies have problems that could have limited, them from getting this thing?
Let me tell you, there's no problem, because if I am, as I'm talking to you now, if I commit a crime against the just state now, it will not take 25 hours for me to be arrested.
Even if you're not in Nigeria, they'll bring you back.
They'll bring me back. I know what I'm saying. They'll follow us, they'll Interpol, this and that, and they'll bring me back. See, there's a high level of conspiracy or sabotage in what is happening.
That's what you think?
That's what I'm thinking, yes.
Okay.
Because they are using networks. See, if there's some people's call are being monitored.
Of course, it's possible.
So what stops the DSS? What stops the telecommunication? And whatsoever that we call in the name of intelligence gathering? to provide some calls, even coded call, that is about kidnapping, how to pay ransom. But these people, as we're discussing, they use network to communicate. Are you aware? And they will dribble you. I was involved in one when we were to pay ransom. Hey, stop here. When you stop, they say, we see you, we see you. People are there. They will give another location. That's what they do. You cannot just take ransom to a particular place and pay immediately. They will dribble you, take you round until you drop. You will not know the person that will carry the money. So this is done using telecommunication. Today we are all of us have registered. I was if you don't leave your name, if you don't leave your BVN,